casting shadows on the wall. Ancestor eyes are watching every teardrop fall. The sound of the blade against the porcelain plate is a fairy tale warning, a heavy-duty weight. You're cutting the meat with the precision so cold, repeating the stories that were never meant to be told. The sector is drowning, the harvest is thin, but you're looking for a failure to pin beneath my skin. But in the back of my mind, there's a clearing so wide, with a pearlescent sky, where the ghosts can hide. A gold crest pinned to a hollow chest, playing the host for the high society guests. Pouring top shelf liquor for the judge and the law, while the foundation crumbles in the winter thaw. You put a hand on my shoulder, condescending weight, calling me a simple soul to seal my fate. But the library smells like a long decayed lie. Underneath the banner of a grayscale sky, there's limo on the glass of the winter room, where the wild things are dying in the heavy gloom. I saw the secret ledger in the cabinet drawer. You're selling the dirt to pay the debt at the door. Yeah, the history is burning, but there isn't any light, just the smoke of the ego in the middle of the night. Oh, you're flying a bandage instead of a flag, hiding the blood in a velvet bag. A family name is a heavy-duty cage, a beautiful script for a desperate stage. You use the mast as a whip to keep us in line, while the rod in the marrow is yours and not mine. Yeah, it's a gilded bandage, a silver-plated lie, and the bleeding won't stop, no matter how hard you try. The office is thick with the scent of old pride, with nowhere for the truth or the spirit to hide. You talk about sacrifice and holding the ground, while you're auctioning the silence of the ones that you've bound. The workers are hungry, the sheds are all bare, but you're polishing the brass with a gentleman's air. You call it a legacy, I call it a grave, built on the backs of the ones you won't save. There's limo on the glass of the winter room, where the wild things are dying in the heavy gloom. I saw the secret ledger in the cabinet drawer. You're selling the dirt to pay the debt at the door. Yeah, the history is burning, but there isn't any light, just the smoke of the ego in the middle of the night. I'm climbing to the attic just to find the air above the spiritual prison that you wanted me to wear. I close my eyes and I'm flying, I'm over the wall, watching the fabric of your kingdom start to fall. But the floorboards are cold and the ceiling is low, and I'm still a prisoner of the secrets I know. The only way out is to set the ghost free and watch the fire